All right, guys, coming at you today because there are some stories that just came out which detail what I would describe as cartoonish corruption from a Democratic senator and also from Republican Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas.
No surprise there.
No surprise. I mean, this is like, it happens like every other week there's a new story about like somebody gave him a yacht. You know, like it's just insane. But so tell people, start with Menendez, Democratic senator.
So,
guys, this is unbelievable, isn't this?
New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez has been indicted. That indictment is set to be unsealed today in a press conference. This is by the Southern District of New York. Federal charges against him and his wife for taking hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes, including literal gold bars.
And money stuffed in envelopes.
Money secreted away in various places in his house and in envelopes and whatever.
So let's just be clear. This is not like the standard corruption, which is like, here's a campaign contribution.
No,
no, this is like literal behind the scenes.
Here's a gold bar,
top hat, monocle. Here's a gold bar. You know, okay, I shall do your bidding now. Like, that's what we're talking about.
And so the people he was taking bribes from, I believe all three of them are Egyptian businessmen, and he is accused of doing favors not only for those businessmen but directly for the government of Egypt, including providing them with sensitive government information. So used his power as senator to do the bidding of the Egyptian government and these Egyptian businessmen and accepted in return direct cash payments. And they bought him, there's a luxury vehicle that was purchased, apparently like mortgage payments for a house, and hundreds of thousands of dollars just like stuffed away in cash around his house, and gold bars. So that's what's going on with Menendez. He'd been in legal trouble before over corruption allegations that he managed to wiggle his way out of. He's also up for re-election, I believe, in 2024. There was already another Democrat in the primary challenging him, and there's a Republican who I think is relatively well known who's running in that race. So that's the political situation.
Okay, so I think he's going down. Yeah. Lock him up, first of all.
I mean, also, you can't have gold bars laying around and be like, oh yeah, it's totally innocent. Nothing to see here.
And by the way, to all the Republicans who are saying two-tier justice system, they only go after Republicans. What about this? They're going after Bob Menendez, a very, very powerful Democratic senator, and they got him dead to rights on like legit, straight up, hardcore corruption charges. Yeah. I guarantee you not a single person who's been saying two-tier justice system, they only go after Republicans, are going to come out. DeSantis made that part of his campaign speech, that they only go after Republicans. It's like, well, are you all going to come out and correct the record and say, no, apparently that's not true, because they're throwing the book at Menendez. Yeah. And they should, by the way. They absolutely should.
Oh, 100%. And also ideologically, I mean, Menendez sucks on a variety of issues. His foreign policy is terrible.
Massive
you were mentioning Cuba, the worst on Cuba. And so, you know, we could do a lot better. In New Jersey, blue state, you could get a much better senator in there. Cory Booker is way better ideologically than Bob Menendez is. So
that's crazy.
I will shed 0 tears for Bob Menendez, hopefully, being out of that Senate seat.
And by the way, this goes to show you, they think they're invincible. Like they're so used to being in the swamp and being corrupt that they think nothing of it. They're just like, this is how it works. Yeah. I get to do what I want.
Yeah, I really can't wrap my head around it. Especially this dude already had a near-death experience in terms of getting caught for corruption. The last one was with, I think it was a Miami businessman, like an eye doctor or something in Miami. I think those are the details. But you already were having trouble in this area. You would think you would clean up your act, but they get addicted to a lifestyle. They get addicted to thinking like, because I'm a U.S. senator, I deserve this certain, you know, social status. I deserve this kind of house. I deserve this kind of car. I deserve this kind of lifestyle. And just become willing to completely brazenly disregard any sort of ethics in order to get it.
They think they're above the law. And speaking of
absolutely
above the law, now tell them about Clarence Thomas.
Okay, so Justice Clarence Thomas, who has already been embroiled in innumerable controversies at this point regarding his ethical failures and taking money and RVs and trips and whatever from billionaires, including Harlan Crow, and not disclosing it. Well, we have a new shoe to drop, also courtesy of ProPublica, which is that he's attended at least 2 Koch network donor events as a speaker also was flown in on a private jet. We don't even know who paid for that private jet. Wasn't disclosed. The Kochs are saying they didn't pay for it, but whatever. Again, just cartoonishly corrupt. Keep in mind, not only is the Koch network perhaps the most influential conservative donor network in the entire country, but they have cases fairly routinely directly in front of the Supreme Court, including a recent case that involved, networks like the Koch network trying to keep their donors secret, which of course, lo and behold, Justice Thomas sides with them on. So again, just absolutely brazen corruption and conflict of interest here.
Completely and utterly biased, completely and utterly bought and paid for. And remember, since they don't have an ethics code, he's going to feel like, I didn't do anything wrong. This is totally fine. I get to do what I want. And it just goes to show you how, decrepit and rotten and disgusting the system is.
And, if Democrats were smart, they would really seize on this and really make an issue of it, because it is so brazen. And, the protection that he's receiving from John Roberts and all the rest, but John Roberts in particular being Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. It's astonishing to me that they haven't pressed the issue more and tried to clean up what is just insane levels of lack of transparency. They have no ethical code. Every other federal judge in the whole country has an ethical code that they have to abide by. And these people are, apparently just above any sort of scrutiny, above any sort of law. It's absolutely insane. And, there's a lot of moaning about lack of trust in institutions. When you look at stuff like this, you're like, yeah, of fucking course people don't trust institutions.
Right.
There's a very good reason why, and it's not hard to figure out.
That's right. So there you go. Two cartoonishly corrupt stories that dropped today.
Just brazen.